Uh, I said in Russian language we say psi. In English I should say psi, but sometimes I will say psi and psi both. So yeah. Yes, I use OBS for streaming. Episode 5, Season 1. Lou pays a visit. This episode is very interesting, very active, I can say. I remember it. So let's start playing. Let's go. The fifth postulate. We are united on our path to the goal, although we are not equals on it. Public speaker. They cannot reproduce. Psionics are ugliness itself and the price mankind must pay for its carelessness. Episode 5. The Specialist. No talking. Lou squinted at Kay. Something else came through the radio transceiver. A warning followed. Any attempt to use Psi will be considered resistance. One of his companions stepped into the headlights. My English is not perfect, my friends. Lou caught sight of a siren and flinched. No! Oh my god. I'm not going to do anything, not this shit. I know that I shouldn't do anything. I'm not going to do anything. Don't. We're on the same side. I'm not gonna use... Stop. They twisted her arms roughly, showing her face against the hood of the car. Lou, don't resist. Quiet. The psionic tasted salt and iron on her lips. Blood flowed from her broken nose. The needle went into her neck. Morons. After they were done with her, a psi blocker was used on the empath. Thanks for follow. Search her. The enforcer quickly patted Lou down. She's clean. Then it was Kay's turn. The enforcer took the gun from its holster and immediately turned it over, holding it by the muzzle. No shit. An ultimatum. Lou immediately felt the grip of the officer holding her tighten. The empath was prodded harshly with a machine gun. On your knees! Kay snapped. Watch it. Who are you? You've got my badge, Kay Stone. Acolyte of the Assistance Corps. Run the number. An acolyte with an ultimatum? A coincidence, I'm sure. Handcuff them and load them up. Someone called out from inside the car, apparently having found the gun confiscated from Pollard in the glove compartment. There is another gun in here, in a bag. Having passed another checkpoint, they were brought under escort to some farm off the highway. This place would have been exactly like the one where the psionics bought vegetables, if not for the cordon. A medic fussed by an open van, bandaging a man who seemed familiar. Inquisitor. There was a guard nearby. Everyone looked focused and tense. A general sense of anxiety filled the air. It all gave the impression that something extremely serious had happened. However, the psionic couldn't care less what their reasons were. Neither the blocker injection nor her broken nose could be justified. Welcome. Kay was taken further away. After being led behind an enormous salve, Lou was seated on a folding chair. The accompanying officers stood by to the sides. Soon, two men approached. The first was wearing the uniform of an inquisitor. The second one, dressed in regular clothes, stopped behind Lou. "Please don't worry, mademoiselle." He put his hand on her shoulder, lightly touching her neck with his thumb. "I'm not going to do anything else." The psionic squinted at him, holding back her anger. "Name?" "Lou Reed." The inquisitor sat down, looking questioningly at the man standing behind Lou. "Everything is fine. She is angry, scared, and open." "An empath?" She tried to calm down. "Everything will get cleared up. The important thing now is not to piss them off." In the meantime, the silhouette of a young woman appeared in the glow of the flashing lights. "Monsieur Jencier." "Yes?" "You have decided to conduct the interrogation yourself. I understand." "I'll get to everyone involved. Don't doubt it." She wasn't wearing a uniform, so she couldn't be his superior. All inquisitors refused worldly clothes. However, the woman seemed to state a fact rather than ask permission. "I am recording this." She took out a small camera and only then, as if remembering, asked, "You don't mind, do you?" "No, of course not." The inquisitor ordered again. "Repeat your name." "Lou Reed." "A few days ago you were seen outside the assistant corps building in the center. You seem to be showing signs of exhaustion from using Psi. You were offered glasses. Do you remember that?" Lou tried to answer exhaustively. "Yes, I was there. I was trained. On the street near the entrance, a man passing by offered me glasses." She squinted at the man by the van. "That's right. That person over there. They found out so quickly." "How did you end up at the corpse all that time?" "I was taking a test, and I arrived at the appointed time. I came out when the instructor let me go." "Don't you dare lie!" Lou flinched at his sudden shouting and held back a curse. She clenched her fists without losing her composure and snarled, "Call the instructor. The information of my fourth stage must have been recorded by a bunch of sensors and cameras. After the test, I left when I was allowed to. The inquisitor looked behind her again. He continued more calmly. Do you know the other detainee? Naturally, we were in the same car when we were pulled over. That's Keystone. He was assigned to me as my partner in the corps. What were you doing on the highway? We were heading back to town. We were in Lelouch on a case. Monsieur Hans Güller will confirm this. Contact him. Right now, I am asking you. Yes, my friends, are you here? Who is here? Tell me, please. Okay. His voice became menacing. What was the case? We went to get a gun. It's in the back. I need more details. Wait. Crap. Call Güller. Jonsier signed. I'm authorized to start asking in a different manner. Let's say in a less pleasant one. Furious, the psionic woman spat on the blood-tinted saliva that had been irritating her for a while. She lifted her chin and said, If you want to beat the shit out of me, go ahead, but I'm not going to tell anything else. The inquisitor's tone and expression remained unchanged, but the woman sitting next to him smiled slightly, raising an eyebrow. When did you start following Monsieur Martin? Who is that? That man. I told you I was taking a test. I have no idea what you are talking about. Jonsier seemed to be gearing up to slap her in the face when the woman spoke up. Do you know who is Monsieur Eva Martinez? If you are talking about him. Lou shook her head. That was the first and last time I saw him. The name seemed to stir something in her memory, but maybe it was just similar to someone else. The woman put the camera on the roof of the car. Go on, Monsieur Jonsier. The recording is in progress, and went towards the van. Mademoiselle Reed, there are too many coincidences. You were following him then. Today, you were detained not far from here, in the company of an empath with an ultimatum. An ultimatum? The inquisitor shook his head theatrically. You're not being honest with me. That's disappointing. Entering the Inquisition is risky. Entering me is idiotic. Stone came up with everything, right? The empath convinced you, made you do it. Are you delusional? Lou said wearily. Just call my superiors and confirm what I'm telling you. I will. He got up and said to the guard, Keep an eye on her. I'll be back soon. The man that was touching Lou's neck followed after him. The inquisitor failed to come back soon. Clearly having familiarized himself with the results of case interrogation, Jonsier began to make calls while passing. Not every number answered. Lou could hear his demands. Find him. I need Güller now. Yes. Wayne too. What? Wake him up, Mark. Oh my god. Okay. Finally, the inquisitor returned, alone. Hello, welcome. It looked like he wasn't going to continue the interrogation. Remove her handcuffs. Uncuff the other one too, and bring him here. Hello, welcome. Meow. I'm playing Romance Club, I'm fine. Trying to read English, but today my English really not so English. A minute later, Kay was standing next to her. How are you? Fine, and you? He shrugged, grimacing. Same. Your nose is broken. Let me see how bad it is. Can you tell? Well, I can tell if you need a doctor. Hello. Lou agreed. Kay led her into the light and gently slid his fingers along the bridge of her nose. It's not that bad. Does it hurt a lot? No. Having noticed them, even Martin, who had managed to get himself back in order, leaned over a nearby medical case. He took something out of the case and moved towards the psionics. Looking at the approaching man, Kate whispered, Wow, look who's here. The young woman reappeared and caught up with the Inquisitor. Once she got closer, she quickly poked at the camera screen. The recording had stopped. Jean-Pierre approached as well. Mark, I want to see a report of the commensurability of the sentence tomorrow afternoon. Got it. It will be done. Martin caught Lou's gaze. You are bleeding again. Take this. And here you are, ready to help again? Jean-Pierre and the woman looked at Lou in embarrassment as they hadn't expected her to speak. It's a courtesy. Thank you. The psionic put the pack on the bridge of her nose. Do you often get into trouble? She looked meaningfully at the blood on his uniform. It happens. And then ironically added, in minor way, unlike you. Ahem. Lou didn't pay any attention to Jean-Pierre. That's a bullet hole, isn't it? Yes. Martin, as if he looking at her more closely, grinned faintly. Raising an eyebrow, he turned to Marc Jean-Pierre. He helpfully explained. The mademoiselle was brought up at the checkpoint while being detained. A calm, strict order. Sort it out. I will. Clearly trying to maintain his posture despite the injury, Eva Martin coldly inquired. When will they finally take me? Maybe we should call a helicopter? A train. Just find me a driver. Can you handle that? Your car is still being checked for tracking devices. As soon as they finish, I will order a motorcade. Martin, frowning as if from a headache, addressed his companion. Invite journalists to come at 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. I will make a statement. We don't need to make too much noise, so pick the right ones. Kay, who had kept silence up to that moment, suddenly spoke. Keystone, acolyte of the Assistance Corps. Monsieur Prior, may I address you? Eva nodded and Lou groaned to herself. Prior? Before her stood the head of the Inquisition. And in fact the second most important person after the Vicar of the United One. Her instincts as a resident of Termitory told her to stay away from such influential people. The empath obviously didn't share her beliefs. We were detained and interrogated. May I know what happened? Please explain to the corpse personnel the nature of the misunderstanding. And Mark, take care of them afterward. I will. Eva nodded to Lou and Kay. Mademoiselle, Monsieur, and left. My name is Daniel Weiss. I am Monsieur Eva Martin's secretary. First of all, I must warn you, despite the mix-up, you shouldn't discuss any details of what happened here. Of course. There was an assassination attempt. The prior was the target. I'm sorry. I'm trying to read English. This isn't just a political attack. It's a challenge to the entire system. Under such circumstances, any method is justified. Kay calmly clarified. The area was cornered off and the roads were blocked. We got caught in a standard sweep. They pulled everyone over. Did security identify Lou Reed and then decide that back at the corpse she was assessing the target? Danielle looked at Jonsieur. They allowed for that possibility. Kay's eyes were clearly full of contempt. Apparently, he had insulted the Inquisitor's professionalism. Your weapon, Monsieur Stone. I'd really like to know how an empath would up with such a specific gun. If your work doesn't take up all of your time, make an inquiry. Satisfy your curiosity. How dare you? Not allowing the conflict to escalate, Danielle interrupted Jonsieur. I do believe this incident is over. Yes, but the blocker. There should be some discussion about the fear of psionics. That stuff is nasty. You're asking for too much. It didn't hurt you. There was no tragedy, mademoiselle. Mademoiselle Reed, do you need more ice? No. Then please excuse me, I have to go. Monsieur Jonsieur, we need your orders concerning the cars. The secretary's words made Marc Jonsieur focus. You will be taken directly home from here as soon as a car is available. Driving under the influence of psi blocker is a questionable idea. Your car will be taken to the corpse. Monsieur Stone, your weapon will of course be returned. Would you like the gun you brought from Lelouch to be handed over to Guller or to the AC? It's better that we do it ourselves. As you wish. He left, taking his guards with him. The psionics were left alone for a while. Lou threw the ice pack on the hood, wiped her fingers, and took out her cigarettes. Do you think there will be bruising? It doesn't look like it. It's not your first time. You know what happens with a broken nose. As a child, I ran. I thought. Stuff happened. Kay grinned. Your life has changed so dramatically. Lou chuckled at the irony. Yeah, the blocker shot sucks, just thinking about it. I have never felt more broken than after being arrested for your murder. Her partner looked at her sympathetically. "Kay? Lauren? Am I interrupting? Take a seat. You already know Lou. Did you check her?" "Yeah, Mademoiselle Reed, if I remember correctly. Mademoiselle Reed, if I remember correctly." Где она? Спасибо. "No hard feelings?" "Lauren is an empath, our colleague." "I figured as much. It's fine." "What a charming partner you have." It's as if Stone interrupted Lauren's compliment. "What's going on here?" Lauren lowered his voice a little. "Jonsier arrived to carry out a punitive operation. He brought me with him. Fortunately, I wasn't needed, so I've been sitting in the car. No idea why, but I have been here all day. Martin arrived here in the evening, either to keep Jonsier in check or who knows what else. Anyway, I don't know how it all happened, but bang, the prior was shot. Everyone started running around. One of his guards was killed and the second one was wounded. The assailant got away. And then it all began. Checking everyone's name and purpose for being here. The interceptions, the roadblocks. It doesn't seem to be working. The church won't rest until they have combed through the entire neighborhood and New Paris. They won't want to go public with this. But the council will be happy with the news. Will they find out? Definitely. Someone from the corps will either blab or sell the information to the counselors. By the way, when I read that story, I want to read Lou's voice low and others' voices higher because Lou is like, yo, girl, and guys are softer than her. So it's a little bit strange, but yeah, it's the fact. It's the fact. First and foremost, the AC is after money. Idealists are in the minority. Lauren, did you say punitive operation? Didn't you see? Let's go. They followed Lauren. Lauren, maybe. He's Lauren. Okay. Holy shit. Yep. In one word, Lou summed up the executioners, the victims, and the whole situation. People. These ones and those. They are people. Okay, I've gotta go. Lou, are you sure you're okay? I didn't mean to. Yes, don't worry about it. Lou turned away from the gallows. Lou had heard stories about how the authorities had reinforced order by driving nails into living flesh, how they had shaped the common good with public humiliation. Of course, they exaggerated some parts of the stories, and they were afraid to speak of others. But for the most part, it had happened a long time ago. Lou had never seen anything like it. She pulled herself together. I knew where I was going, and it wasn't to start flowers. Is there anything you want to ask? A good English exercise, yeah, that's truth. Why hang farmers? Have you crossed paths with Jonsier before? Is it often this? Cheerful at the corpse? Sometimes things get exciting. Although I don't remember there ever being such a high-profile assassination attempt. What about punitive operations and gallows? No, rarely. Very rarely, Lou. Why hang farmers? The Inquisition doesn't deal with vegetable thieves. Maybe they were expressing their dissatisfaction with the church too loudly, searing people to disobedience is severely punished. Or someone seriously violated safety regulations. Have you heard what happened about 3 years ago down south? People stole money that was meant for filter repairs in the greenhouses. It was discovered when a crop with abnormalities came into stores and canteens. Over 5,000 hospitalized, 50 deaths due to allergies. The Inquisition then executed not only those involved, the director, the accountant, the chief technician, but also everyone who knew what was going on and kept silent. Only the children were untouched. One of the enforcers that had brought the psionics there approached. Nodding his head respectfully, he returned Kay's weapon. A chain of lights disappeared along the road. Several cars left. They picked up all the shells from the grass. Then the cordon was slowly lifted. Lou still didn't look in the direction of the poles with bodies dangling beneath them. Have you crossed paths with Jonsier before? Only briefly. But I've heard enough about him. Like what? From what I've heard, he could tie the nooses for those gallows himself. A son of a bitch. Basically, yes. Is Lauren a good friend? No, we're not close. I don't know his stage. He doesn't talk much, and that's important. He won't talk about what he remembers of the gallows or what he felt. The wind picked up and the bodies swayed in a horrifying dance. Only then did Kay turn away. Let's go. Marc Jonsier didn't pay attention to the psionics for the rest of the night. When the sky in the east began to brighten, a driver came for them. The very young man behind the wheel was visibly nervous. Every now and then he looked in the mirror and those sitting in the back but didn't ask questions. Only when they passed the last checkpoint posted at the entrance to the city did he ask where to take his passengers. Upon hearing Lou mention Termitary, he mumbled indistinctly and then, claiming that there wasn't enough time, said he wouldn't go there. Lou had no doubts that the real reason was fear. After giving his address, Kay suggested to his partner, Why don't you come by? You can go to your place later." She didn't object. She figured out where his street was in the city. "Do you live downtown?" "Yeah, on the periphery." "Come on in." Lou looked around with interest. Wow, cool. Thank you. If you want to wash your face, it's in there. Are you hungry? Damn. Lou, there was a lot of food left in the car. And my bag. And mine. I will call the garage and ask them to make sure they don't lose anything. She went to the bathroom. Do you want something to eat? Always. Hearing her hissing and grumbling after a minute, Kay shouted. A voice control shower, Lou. It doesn't understand swearing. When she came back, Kay was setting the plates. The kitchen unit must have been much more expensive than Lou's, and he had ready-made food at home. So, if you get depressed and are too lazy to talk, do you just go around unwashed? I didn't think about this when I paid for the... Oh my god, I'm sorry. Why it happens all the time with me and my microphone? I didn't think about this when I paid for the installation. It's possible to go into the settings and turn it off if you want. Are all of your appliances connected? Yes. Lou had never lived in abundance. She only owned one really expensive item, a motorcycle, old but in good condition. However, she understood that installing such equipment was expensive, too expensive for someone in this line of work. I'm playing Psy. Oscar, welcome. There is more to you than meets the eye, partner. I call the garage. Everything is fine. She walked around the room and looked out at the balcony. Wow, the greenery, the view, that's amazing. Take a seat. The empath got serious. The blocker will start wearing off soon. Stay here and wait it out. Otherwise, it's going to hit you on your way home. Lou focused on her senses. I don't feel anything yet. Have you been jabbed before? The empath silently nodded. A lot. Several times. But you work for them. We both do. Sitting down at the table, the psionic clarified. Just like this time. For being a suspect? It was under different circumstances. I got caught up in internal investigation a couple of times. One time I was injected by civilians. What do you mean? Who? That blocker, as far as I know, is very complicated. Only the church's laboratories can make it, and only the authorities have access to it. Yes, I hope nothing changes in that regard. But the substance itself is something sold on the side. Not officially, of course. Then it's like guns from police warehouses. You're not an idealist, are you? The human element plays a role in everything. One time I had a confrontation with some guys from Termitary. That was a close call. I was given an overdose. If it ever happens to you, relax as much as possible. Don't strain your brain under any circumstance. Noted, thank you. Lou looked at the empath with sincere sympathy. Crap. Can't you develop a tolerance to it or something? No. Eat. Soon you won't have any appetite. Damn, last time I didn't handle the withdrawal too well. Staying at case until the drug wore off was the right thing to do. but Lou rarely allowed anyone to see her sick. Enduring the withdrawal symptoms of the blocker together in the same house was definitely very intimate. They looked at each other. "So, are you going to stay?" "Yeah, thanks." "It's not like we are going for a drink together. Can I ask you about something? Not that you owe me an explanation, but Kay, why were they so surprised by your gun?" "Thanks for follow, welcome." The ultimatum is a professional weapon. It's expensive. His performance with personalized adaptivity. It's accurate, reliable, and comfortable. It has a large clip and an outstanding kill rate. It's the most popular caliber. Welcome. Welcome, Cyberway. A palm scanner is integrated into the grip, along with a shock stunner. No one but the owner can fire it, and anyone who tries gets an electric shock. Lou looked intently and curiously at Kay. "And why exactly do you need a weapon like this? Can you tell me why that Inquisitor emphasized that you were an empath?" "Many specialists use an ultimatum, and empaths make good specialists. Psy-empathy helps you sense the moods of those around you and, as a result, recognize danger before others do. It often helps with predicting how people will act in an extreme situation. If they will jump or fall, which covers someone would choose." "Specialist? What do you mean?" "Killers? That's one example." "So you, surprise, motherfucker. Have you taken out many people for the church?" "Are you looking for numbers? Or a general subjective assessment?" "Shit, I'm sorry. It's really none of my business." "It's okay. We have to work together." "In that case, a subjective assessment. An average number. I think it's increased with a new job. But I'm not a hitman. They are usually called liquidators." "On the contrary, I used to guard important people that were close to the church. I saved influential members of the clergy several times." "So that's where all this money came from." She was interested in how it was that a good bodyguard, since a bad one wouldn't be allowed among those societal ranks, ended up on the streets of Termitary with an intern. "Did you fail to protect someone?" "However, it would be too intrusive to ask. It obviously wasn't by any chance." Picking up the last of her chickpeas with a fork, Lou asked, "And who is attacking the church's people?" "Are you curious because of Martin?" "No, actually, well, not only because of him. I got a psycho once. There are also those who are dissatisfied with the way everything is run. The regime. Typical power struggles." "The council?" "I can't say. It's best not to talk too much about this." "I see. It's really that route in there, huh?" "Of course. None of the advisors would get their hands dirty trying to reach the clergy. They are professional for that." She rubbed her face She rubbed her face. Her thoughts were beginning to muddle together. Fucking blocker. She shook her head. Look, I grew with a scanner, weapons that adapt to a person. I didn't know any of that was real. They show all kinds of things in the movies, but this... The ultimatum isn't a big secret. Those in the field know about it, especially since the gun isn't new. You have a fingerprint scanner on your phone. Can you read about it online? Yeah, if you look for it. Why would you need to though? She answered sincerely. I want to understand things, to learn. So you've got ambition? Her answer was short and confident. Yes. I get that. Good. There is a plenty of data about conventional weapons, but there is not much information about whips. Even in the corps. It's a recent development for the Inquisition. The Church has the best scientists. It's a whip made of small links held together by electromagnetic fields. They say that these fields give it a powerful streak, and in enhanced mode, the whip can even work like a shield and change the trajectory of a bullet. I can imagine what they put in the handle. There must be a few surprises in there. A non-combat mode, it looks like a small case. The reason I brought this up is because one of the inquisitors hanging around the prior had something similar. She recalled Pollard's arrest. She imagined him shooting at Kay and the empath defending himself with this mysterious device, and the bullet ricocheting into her. Then she started at the countertop. Lou? Where are you? Here, my head. It's the blocker. Why don't you lie down? Lay down. No, I'm fine. Kay. Back at Platypus, did you have a weapon? Back at Platypus, did you have a weapon? You're a good shot. You wounded Pollard so he could be taken alive. Why didn't you shoot then? You would have caught her. The ultimatum is loud. I was afraid that someone would come out of the bar at the sound. And if a shutout started, there had been victims. I saw that I had to catch up to her. Yeah, you could have caught her. You would have. The conversation began to get bogged down. Her head gradually felt heavier. Kay brought some painkillers. An hour later, the first episode occurred. Her joints stiffened sharply. Pain coursed down her spine, causing nausea. Kay also gradually became unwell. The veins on his forehead swelled, and he broke out in a sweat. Seeing that she was about to fall off her chain, he insisted that she lay down. I'm fine. Right. I see. Strong, brave. Only you are under the influence of a blocker. Curling up on the couch, Lou put her head in her hands. The empath arced strangely, swayed, and took a step, heading for another room. Okay, I better go over there. She had no strength to object. Another cramp racked her body. She wanted to blow up the laboratory where this garbage was produced, or at the very least to fall asleep. She succeeded in doing the latter. Either fatigue after a sleepless night was affecting her, or the pills helped, or the United One had mercy. Lou started realizing that the pain has subsided. It got dark. Someone had covered her. She tensed involuntarily. Okay. A barely audible whisper. You're so high strung. You don't have to defend yourself. It's just a blanket. The soft fabric smelled of soap and winter mornings. It was cozy and nice. Without opening her eyes, she said, or maybe just did, "Thank you." Her head was still buzzing, but it was tolerable, no worse than a mild hangover. Sitting up, Lou listened. There's water running. She took out her phone. I slept for 4 hours. Not long after, the empath came out of the bathroom. Hello. Didn't you go to bed? I tried. I couldn't sleep. Would you like some coffee? It's decent. I'll take anything you have got. Pressing a button on the kitchen unit, Kay filled 2 cups and an invigorating aroma wafted through the room. Having taken a sip of the pleasantly salty drink, Lou immediately felt better. She tilted her head, appreciating Kay's figure. He is well built. The empath raised an eyebrow questioningly. You're in great shape. Thank you. Lou, you're looking at me like I'm a piece of steak. She didn't look away. Her smile became more pronounced and bold. Kay endured her gaze without embarrassment, then shook his head. Having fun, are you? How many people have you made blush by staring like that? Are you asking how many people I've slept with? Do you think that's an appropriate question? I recall you wondering how many I've killed. Do you think that is less intimate? Lou chuckled, looking away. The man didn't insist on any answer and said seriously but softly, I'm sorry. Lou, don't play with me, okay? Suddenly realizing that she cared and really didn't want to hurt Kay, Lou nodded. Okay. Yeah, and no strings attached. Policy won't fly with him. Is he not like that, or am I just not like that with him? Ah, fuck, I have enough problems already. Changing the subject, Lou pointed out. An expensive apartment, good coffee. If there is a chance to make money, I'm in. Kay smiled. Good coffee indeed. Have you seen any of the pre-storm films? Of course. The coffee in them is always made from beans. Yeah, and no matter how loosey their lives are, they have a special coffee maker or whatever. Some kind of a ladle. Oh, I remember. Shit. Oh my god, how to pronounce that? Okay, Turkish coffee pot. Now, to be honest, we are drinking something else. The important thing is that it's invigorating and delicious. She noted to herself that he didn't pick up the topic of earning money. What's the plan? We have to go to the corpse. The chaplain sent a message. He's waiting. Then we will pick up our things from the garage. Lou pulled the collar of her shirt up to her nose and sniffed it. Crap, I'd like to change, but it's a long trip there and back. You could look through my closet, but there is nothing in your size. Let's go. Despite the already warming sun, the day turned out to be quite cool. Spring felt different in that part of the city. There were lawns of vibrant grass, fluffy treetops along the nicely washed streets, and obnoxiously complacent passerby. Welcome back. Lou lit up a cigarette. Why does he want to see us? We will find out soon. There you are. Chaplain, Monsieur Wayne. Sit down. Don't just stand there like a couple of doorposts. He got straight to the point. And what happened last night? Why were you being interrogated by inquisitors, huh? Reed, that is one thing. She's a trainee. What can you expect? But you, Stone, suspected of involvement in an assassination attempt. He lowered his voice. On whom? The prior of the Inquisition. Do you understand? Everything is being cleared up. There is no reason to... Oh, you don't need to prove your innocence to me. Save it. If you were guilty, you wouldn't be sitting here right now. Don't doubt that. Lou tried to support her partner. Kate couldn't have influenced the situation in any way. He was cooperating. He tried to coordinate with me to the best of his ability. Anyone could have been ended up there. I don't see how we could have handled it any better under the circumstances. Hello, welcome, my friends. I was awakened in the middle of the night and forced to get your case files. You have caused trouble. And not just for me, by the way. That's right, stay quiet. Narcissus Wayne didn't seem to Lou like the type of person to summon his subordinates just to justice them. She wasn't wrong. So make sure you won't be sleeping well either. I'm sharing this news. The man who sold the gun, the Omer Polade, has been arrested by the police for his involvement in a theft from one of their depots. Damn. So they won't give him to us? Great. You haven't lost your gift of comprehension. They will drag things out as long as they can. The police don't want the corpse sticking its nose in their dirty laundry. The chaplain added, still annoyed. They are going to interrogate him themselves. If they find something of interest to you, they will inform you. They said they would anyway. The name of the game is Romance Club. Monsieur Wayne, you know better than anyone the current state of our relationship. What are the chances of them actually reporting anything? I wouldn't count on it. If they learn anything useful, they will try to figure it out on their own. Are the psionic killings no longer a secret? They are a secret, but the police know, of course. The interrogator read, Matt. What was his name? Bernard. Yes. He was wondering how it was that two psionics with gunshot wounds from different areas ended up in the hospital at the same time. Nurses paused. Obviously, the police want to rub the corpse's nose in it, like they got the job done faster. Questions? My friends, I will come back after 1 minute and will read for you, okay? I will try to be fast. I came back. Hello. Let's read. Write me please in the comments that it's interesting for you and you're listening to me, at least because I feel myself lonely. Okay. You said you weren't the only one with problems. Jean-Cyr let you go, but he will still ask for a full background check. Oh, congratulations! Most frequently visited places, connections, friends and family, of course. They will look into your personal files and demand references from work. Damn it. Okay. Wayne was already speaking more calmly. No one is going to take you off the case. Killer need results. I hope that the arms dealer wasn't your only lead. My sympathies. It didn't sound too sincere. So, shall we go? Oh, United One. Oh, United One. Are you going to get to work and stop looking for ways to ruin my life? Maybe wipe the chairs while you're at it. Read. Lou lingered by the door. As a reward for Palat, stop by the accounting department to collect an advance and some fuel vouchers for official purpose. You have an electric motorcycle, don't you? They are called fuel vouchers, but you can refuel and charge using the FV at any station. As I said, this is for official purposes only. Thank you, Monsieur Chaplain. Uh-huh. Kay was waiting for her outside. So, got them. Her mood was upbeat. The advance turned out to be rather generous. Here, he handed Lou her bag, taken from the service car, along with a heavy package. This is just part of the groceries. Drive by the garage later to pick up the rest. Thank you. I had to share with the mechanics. They will look after it now. What's up with the case now? What's next? I don't know. I need to get a good night's sleep first. We will think about it tomorrow. So, see you tomorrow? Bye. Lou went home. She took out a carrot, a couple of zucchinis, and a head of cabbage from the bag. She put everything away in the fridge. And then she went to take a shower. Due to a malfunctioning temperature sensor, she first froze and then, after nearly being scalded by a jet of hot water, jumped out and heard her phone ringing. Hi, Dogon. Hello. Lou, what happened? Nothing. Leaving wet footprints on the floor, she tiptoed to the bed. You sound kind of agitated, and there is something else. What? Did something happen? Some kind of check already? Yeah, an inspection. Damn, I'm sorry. I didn't think they had moved that fast. I thought I have time to call and warn you. Did they give you a hard time because of me? Nah, they just leafed through my personal file, asked a couple of questions, and then left. What's going on? Is this all still happening because of that case? No, I can't tell you the details, but everything is fine, honestly. Dogon, I need to call the others and warn them too. Okay, go. Hello, welcome. Yeah, bye. She got in touch with Tom and Kiddo, and then with Jonas. After listening to his grumbling, she hesitated a little, but finally called her mother. Putting her dirty clothes into the disinfector, Lou calculated how much of the advance would be left after she paid back her friends. Hello, Maxime, welcome. Happy Sunday. I can use the vouchers to charge the bike. That's good. She estimated how long the food bought at the farm would last. And my phone bill and rent. The advance didn't look so generous anymore, but there should be something left of it. Lou got dressed. Okay, it's almost the end. Okay, Kill Bill. Dark straps. She dried her hair and brushed it. Okay. Then she went shopping. She needed all sorts of small necessities at home. When she returned, she ate a raw carrot. She was too lazy to cook but wanted to eat. Lou went to bed early. After the night out on the farm, the 4 hours she had spent on Kay's couch weren't enough. She walked, awakened by her phone ringing cheerfully. Cursing, the psionic opened her eyes and squinted. The blindingly bright screen displayed 317 and the name K. Overcoming the desire to silence it and go back to sleep, Lou answered the call. "Can you leave now?" "Crap, yes I can." "What happened?" "Double homicide. Both bodies belong to psionics. I'll text you the address." That's all. That was good. Thanks for being with me, my friends. The next episode we will play the next day. Thanks for your attention.